When it comes to the environment, our country stands at the intersection of two divergent paths. In one direction is the absolutist path. Here, only one or two energy solutions are considered, regardless of their true effectiveness and impact on the economy. The other is an inclusive path that brings an open-minded approach. It welcomes any idea that can get us to a thriving net zero economy sooner and cleaner. Of course, when we put it that way, the choice seems very clear, doesn't it? But outside of our industry, it isn't put that way. And it's hard to make a logical argument when you're always on defense. I've been in the natural gas business for more than 3 decades. It's hard not to get emotional when you look back at the last few years. Natural gas is now demonized by former environmental allies. We are no longer the convenient foil for the coal industry. And now, they're coming for us. Their absolute solution is only renewable energy at whatever cost and limitations. Everything else is excluded, especially natural gas. But the sad irony is this: we share the same hope with those who shame us. We want to build a sustainable future for the generations to come. We just believe there's a better way to get there. Of course, we don't spend all of our time brooding because we have some detractors. We continue to grow, innovate, and push each other to be safer and more affordable, because that's what natural gas professionals do. But as we barrel down that road of the present toward the intersection, it will be for nothing if we don't help steer our nation away from absolutism. That way is the slow, pothole-filled road to division and decline. Instead, we need to light the way down to the expressway to net zero. We need to explain why natural gas will get us there. People need to know that natural gas is the key to a sustainable future. As industry veterans, we know there's so many reasons why. But how do we make a clear case to the public that's bombarded with torrents of information? How do we keep the conversation light? Our parents taught us that we have to be polite in conversation. You talked about the weather or your health. In the age of climate change and healthcare policy, probably not the best conversation starters. But we can have a conversation if we make our case in the right way to the right people, even with people who do not agree with us. At SGA, we've summarized that case in 3 memorable parts. Number 1, people need to know how reliable natural gas is and why that's so important to reaching a net zero economy. We are a critical partner to enabling renewables when they can't stand alone. Nature patterns tell us the wind is available about 20% of the time, and solar about 25%. And current battery technology does not come close to closing that gap. People need to know that natural gas is there 100% of the time. We need to ask ourselves, is power that works only 20 to 30% of the time a real standalone alternative? Of course, the answer is no. Second, natural gas is essential. The dramatic success we have had removing carbon in our country is due to natural gas. Our industry is the single greatest contributor to bringing CO2 emissions to a 25-year low, as natural gas accounts for more than 35% of electricity generated today. Natural gas is also critical to our economy. Our industry accounts for nearly 2 million jobs and over $200 billion of real gross domestic product. More than half Americans use natural gas every day. Any discussion of the future of energy that excludes natural gas is unrealistic and irresponsible. And finally, people need to know how innovative we are. We're using cutting-edge technology to limit emissions and actually remove carbon from the atmosphere with renewable natural gas. Even renewables can't do that. It's important to remember that natural gas is the key to a sustainable future, according to the facts, and not just Don Raikes. It's time to stand up for those facts. To me, each mind we change moves us closer towards that road to net zero and away from absolute town. We must stand up for the facts at the City Council and the Little League. We must stand up for the facts both online and inline at the grocery store. We believe about half the population is undecided on the role natural gas can play in our energy future, with about 25% wholeheartedly supporting us and another 25% being very much against us. We need to reach out to that middle 50% if we want to avoid the dangerous trip to absolutism. They are the key driver to our sustainable future. Facts are the crucial tools, and at the end of these remarks, I'm going to tell you how to get more compelling facts about natural gas. But we have more than facts on our side. I believe the winds of these unprecedented times are at our backs as well, because we've learned some things as a nation as we fight this pandemic. Solving complex problems requires flexible pragmatism and not strict dogma. Imagine if someone stood up and said, "There's only one solution to COVID-19. Absolutism divides. Division will destroy us." We need all ideas on the table for these challenges, and the environment is no different. The most extreme of our adversaries will attempt to weaponize COVID against us. We should not be distracted. We must remind everyone that natural gas is once again ready to help lead this nation to economic recovery after the terrible toll of the virus. Our adversaries can frustrate and enrage us, but in some ways, they actually help us. Great adversaries make us stronger. They hold us accountable. And it's important to remember, these are our fellow Americans who simply believe they are saving the planet. We might even find agreement on just one issue with some. We shouldn't hesitate to embrace those agreements. We must argue with civility, empathy, and even a sense of humor, because ultimately, we're on this road trip together. These paths are not left or right, or red or blue. It's about a simple mindset. The key question is, can we listen to each other? We believe we can when we have a reason. That's what we're asking you to do as organizations and individuals. Give people a reason to listen. Educate your communities and your friends and your family. Start with a conversation about the future of our planet and why natural gas is the key to a sustainable future. At the end of my remarks, there are directions on how to find a series of multimedia tools to help you make the case. And don't forget, you can become a natural gas champion with SGA's great online course for an even deeper dive. These tools are just the latest reason I'm proud to be a member of SGA. Along with all the other training tools, SGA continues to be our industry resource for staying ahead. But remember, our greatest resource is each other. Reach out to each other. Attend some of our virtual social events. Share ideas and inspiration. Let's make the most of what we have. I congratulate the staff at SGA for creatively providing these opportunities even under difficult circumstances. We talked about how innovative we are as an industry, and that includes how we talk about ourselves. What ideas do you have to share about making the case for natural gas? Email us at memberservices@southerngas.org. We'd love to hear them. We need to hear them, because that's what these times are all about. Standing up when we are needed. It's an amazing time to be in the natural gas industry. The challenges are difficult, but the opportunity is vast. We can put our country on a better path. Every career is a legacy. Building a better world will be ours. I'm proud to share that legacy with you. Thanks for watching. Now download the toolkit and let's get to work.